Top 10 Strange Facts About John Lennon's Life in America. The Beatles are perhaps the most popular band in the United Kingdom, and John Lennon has always been the group's most iconic member, adding intelligence and wit to the group's compositions. John Lennon's songwriting evolved alongside the Beatles' transition from mop-top poster lads to experimental studio band. His best works drew on literary ideas and stretched the to all bounds of pop music, but never at the expense of a lovely melody. While many of us will be familiar with John Lennon's music, especially his work with the Beatles, most of us have very little or no insight into the personal life of John Lennon in the United States of America. Here are top 10 facts you probably didn't know about John Lennon's life in America. 1. Immigration battle. Lennon stayed involved in the anti-war movement and other progressive political causes. The Nixon government threatened him with deportation, believing he was being removed due to his activism. However, papers eventually revealed that he was targeted due of his 1968 marijuana conviction in Britain. 2. Moving to New York City. In order to escape the Beatles era and concentrate on their families and personal lives, Lennon and Ono relocated to New York City in 1971 after the band's breakup. 3. Creative output. In New York City, Lennon wrote Mind Games, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, I'm Losing You and Woman, which became some of his most well-known songs and albums. He also collaborated with David Bowie and Elton John. 4. Last #1 solo single in America from a Beatle member. Paul McCartney had topped the Billboard Hot 100 3 times before John Lennon's release of Walls and Bridges in 1974. George Harrison and Ringo Starr had each climbed the summit twice. Only John Lennon, an ex-Beatle, had yet to have a #1 single. That all changed with Whatever Gets You Through the Night, a lively dance song featuring Elton John on piano and supporting vocals. It peaked at #1 on November 16, 1974, becoming Lennon's first and only U.S. chart topper. 5. John Lennon made one of pop's earliest diss singles. Everyone knows Lennon's 1971 album Imagine for its utopian title track. But the album also includes How Do You Sleep, a fairly vicious attack on Paul McCartney. Those freaks was right when they said you was dead, Lennon says in the first lyric, alluding to the notorious Paul is dead rumor. Lennon later sings, The Only Thing You've Done Was Yesterday, referring to the Beatles' classic, Yesterday. In fairness, Lennon was reacting to a few subtler lyrical attacks on McCartney's 1971 album Ram. 6. John Lennon final concert in Madison Square Garden. After assisting Lennon in recording Whatever Gets You Through the Night, Elton John laid a bet to the former Beatles that the single would hit #1 in the United States. A skeptical Lennon accepted the gamble, promising to perform with John at Madison Square Garden if he lost. Sure enough, the song topped the Hot 100 on November 16, 1974, and 12 days later on Thanksgiving night Lennon joined John for 3 songs, including Beatles staples Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and I Saw Her Standing There. It would be Lennon's last proper concert performance. 7. Abuse against women. Lennon acknowledged his violent past in an interview with Playboy in 1980, saying that he had fought men and beaten women. He also revealed that the Beatles song Getting Better, which contains the line, I used to be cruel to my woman and beat her and take her apart from the things that she loved, was actually about him. 8. Signature glasses by Lennon. Lennon's trademark wireframe glasses served more purposes than just style. John Lennon liked the round glasses that were part of his army character's outfit when filming the 1967 black comedy, How I Won the War. These were the practical creations of the National Health Service in the United Kingdom, not high-end eyewear. Lennon made the unsightly granny frames his hallmark style for the remainder of his life since he loved them so much. 9. Lennon's last photo. On December 8, 1980, amateur photographer Paul Gorish captured Lennon autograph an album for the person who would assassinate him a few hours later. Lennon graciously signed a CD of his most recent album, Double Fantasy, for Mark David Chapman. Later that day, Lennon returned from the recording studio and was assassinated by Chapman, the same person for whom he had so graciously signed his autograph. 10. Murder. On December 8, 1980, a disturbed fan, Chapman, shot and killed Lennon in front of his Manhattan apartment complex. We can conclusively say that John Lennon's life in the United States was marked by activism, controversy, and a tragic ending. For more of this content, click on the subscribe button.